Welcome to Sun City News. I'm your host, Norma Taylor. We're covering these stories for you this week. We bring you some important community association news. Reporter Chris Chase talks to Deb Schmidt, Title IV ADA specialist, about important free assistance. Doug Wright reports on the Foals of Honor event at Sun City golf courses. Those stories and more coming up. Sun City News starts now.
This is Sun City News with Norma Taylor and the Sun City News team, covering our community and the Lowcountry.
Residents who own classic cars are invited to receive new RFID stickers from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, July 24th in the Lake Somerset parking lot. The Community Association, Securitas, and Safety and Service will block off the Lake Somerset parking lot for 3 hours to handle the registration process. Residents are advised to avoid the Lake Somerset gate from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, July 24th. Only classic cars will receive stickers during this event. A portion of Argent Way in the Okeechobee Woods neighborhood will close on Tuesday, July 23rd for contractors to make repairs to the road. The neighborhood representative and residents affected by the road work have been notified, as well as local police and fire departments. The repairs are expected to last approximately 2 weeks. Candidate application packets for this year's community election are available to download from the election page on the community website. Completed packets may be dropped off at Palmetto Commons beginning August 1st. Board candidate applications are due by September 12th. Neighborhood representative candidates must drop off their applications by September 27th. For more information about these events and other community activities, check your email inbox for eNews Weekly or log on to suncityhiltonhead.org. The Community Association has made it easier than ever to stay informed about the major capital projects happening in Sun City Hilton Head. The Projects in Progress webpage is now available on www.suncityhiltonhead.org under Membership Announcements. You can also navigate to this page and the Association at Work flyer by clicking the yellow image at the bottom of eNews Weekly. What have you been paying for years and didn't even know about? Well, reporter Chris Chase found out.
Now, what exactly is a Title IV ADA specialist?
A Title IV ADA specialist is someone who works with a disability of some sort. That's what the American Disabilities Act is all about, disabilities. The disability that I have expertise with is hearing loss. So I work with people who have hearing loss, and you could be of any age. I put a phone in for someone who's 14 years old, and I put phones in typically from 40-year-olds plus.
Now, I've heard, is it true that 52 million people suffer from hearing loss? And if you're 65, 1 out of 3, and if you're 70, 1 out of 2?
That's absolutely correct. Yes. Every day someone is diagnosed with hearing loss throughout the United States. And it's very, very invasive in our lives because it contributes to the isolation of communication and the communication you can't have because you can't hear as well.
Well, that makes sense. Now, what have we been paying for that we didn't know about?
Well, I should let you know that this phone has no cost, and it is a federal program.
Now, wait a minute. My grandma told me a long time ago, if it sounds too good to be true, it is.
Yes, I get that. And I can explain in kind of 2 ways, and I'll make it as simple as possible. The federal government, the FCC, is where we get paid. That's who we get paid from. The telecommunications companies are mandated to put a fee into a nice big pot throughout the United States. And that is, they do it yearly. But it's a huge pot that goes to the FCC, and we bill them. We bill them for words with the telephone. But if you go home and look at your phone bill, there's something called a universal service fee. That ranges from 80 cents to $1.50. You've been paying that since 1990.
Did not know that.
Yes.
Now, how can this phone help us?
Well, This phone specifically is a phone with words. Right now, you're using a phone at home typically that is a base phone, has some mobiles, and it's on and off, red and green. This phone can do the same thing, however, it has words.
The annual Folds of Honor golf tournament took place on July 18th with a capacity group of foursomes playing at both the Okatee Creek and Hidden Cypress golf courses. Our Sun City News team was there to check out the festivities.
Okay, we're here at the Okatee Creek Golf Club putting green on the day when the Folds of Honor tournament is going off, and we're with David Rogers, who's the new head pro here at Okatee. Good morning, David.
Good morning. How are you?
And tell us, this is an annual event, and tell us about the Folds of Honor event.
Yeah, so this is the sixth annual Folds of Honor, sponsored by the WGA. This year we have 170 players, which is almost double of what we've had in the past. So we actually spread 2 flights over to Hidden Cypress, and we have 3 flights over here at Okatee. So we have 112 here, we have 70 at Hidden Cypress, and it's going to be a great day of golf.
Now, how much money do you hope to raise?
Last year we raised around $3,000. This year with probably 70 to 75 players more, I'm thinking 4 to 4, maybe 5,000.
That'd be
Hopefully.
terrific.
That would be great.
And as you know, the Folds of Honor is for military scholarships
Yes.
for the spouses and offspring of fallen and disabled heroes. So this is a wonderful event.
It's a wonderful event. I'm glad to be a part of it. Rich Owen started it with Jan Mierenberg, who's the president of the WGA here, 6 years ago. And Rich has helped me a lot with this event, and just want to thank him as well.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
It's a hubbub of activity here, so go to it.
All right. Thank you.
Coming up on Sun City News, in Health Matters, Dr. Lou Valenti discusses the problems of Alzheimer's disease. Our staff enjoyed the fun of square dancing this week. In News to Know, there's hurricane preparation and other hurricane preparation. We'll be right back after these important messages. Most diseases or conditions cause some degree of pain during their course, but Alzheimer's is an exception. Our medical consultant, Dr. Lou Valenti, is here to talk about this dreaded disease. Dr. Lou?
Alzheimer's disease is a progressive mental deterioration characterized by confusion, memory failure, disorientation, restlessness, speech disturbances, and inability to carry out full movements. These patients hallucinate and are unable to recognize people or things. Changes in the brain may begin a decade or more before memory cognitive problems appear. During the preclinical stage, people seem to be symptom-free, but toxic changes are taking place. It is presumed that the formation of amyloid plaques, along with neuronal tangles, cause the loss of connections between the nerve cells in the hippocampus, the center for memory. This causes the brain to shrink significantly, as you can see on the right side of the slide. The symptoms frequently begin with an inability to incorporate new knowledge despite the retention of old information, inability to recall words, and inability to orient to one's surroundings. The disease begins in midlife with slight defects in memory and behavior, but the symptoms worsen dramatically after the age of 70. In the early stage, the patient may become lifeless, refuse food, is incontinent, but without focal impairment. There is a decline in the memory aspects of cognition, such as word finding, visual spatial issues, impaired reasoning, and judgment. Although it occurs with equal frequency in men and women, the familial risk is 4 times that of the general population. The diagnostic criteria consists of failure in at least 3 cognitive functions, including memory, use of language, visual spatial skills, personality, and calculating skills. Nursing care is concerned primarily with the promoting activity and sleep and preventing agitation, violence, and injury. Death usually occurs 8 to 12 years after the first symptoms appear. Near the end, patients cannot communicate and are completely dependent on others for their care. They stay in bed all the time and the body eventually shuts down. There are many tests that help make the diagnosis, and there are many drugs that help some and not others. Unfortunately, none of them are a cure for this disease. I am Dr. Lou Valenti for Health Matters.
The Sun City Square Dance Club provides a prime example of the fun and fellowship one can encounter by getting involved in the activities available right here in Sun City. Reporter Georgia Lash visited the club at its regular Tuesday club dance to find out more.
I'm here with Bob Huddle. Bob, you're the president of the Sun City Squares.
I am the president. I couldn't run very fast and they got me.
Isn't that the story? Okay. Now tell me, how long has Sun City Squares been an active club in Sun City?
Actually, they started with one square of dancers in 1997, and then by 1999 it had grown to about 4 squares, and in 1999 they actually got their charter to become a real club in Sun City. So it's been around a long time.
Now, everybody here, you got to use your math skills there. 1 square is how many people?
That is 8 people.
8 people. See, so look at how this club has grown.
It has.
I was going to ask you, what are the evolutions you've seen in your club?
Well, it started out, it's always been a social group. It's just, we dance on Tuesday nights, but we have so much fun in other areas. We have an outreach program. We go to the nursing homes around the area, and we square dance for the residents of the nursing homes. And we just have a ball. We go to conventions, we go to cruise ships, and we dance on cruise ships. We do so much, have so much fun.
I was wondering, are there specific calls to specific songs? Like what I would do here tonight if I was over in Charlotte and there was a square dance event and they played that song, would it be the same, or are you creatively able to create your own calls or your own style of that dance, of that particular song?
It's all on me.
Luckily, in Sun City, we're not threatened every year by hurricanes. But also luckily, when we are, we have an abundance of information to draw from. The Sun City Hurricane Preparedness Guide covers information pre, during, and post-hurricane evacuations. There's also a hurricane hotline, 800-963-5023, that is activated during a hurricane situation. Nixle is a free text alert program used by the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office and the City of Hardeeville to alert residents about severe weather conditions and other public safety issues. All of these elements need to be kept at hand for fundamental hurricane knowledge, but there are other suggestions you need to know. Before a hurricane becomes imminent, if you have hurricane shutters, try to install one or several. Sometimes homes will have a couple of types of shutters for their house. You don't want to have a steep learning curve installing shutters when you're trying to pack and escape. This is a 2-person job. If you're not prepared or don't want to take on the task, talk to a friend or your neighborhood representative for suggestions on how to prepare for shutter installation when needed. Many sources will list supplies you should have on hand in case of an emergency. Water, batteries, paper goods, and non-perishables are important. But if you hear of a possible hurricane in the near future, don't stock up your freezer. If the power is out for an extended time, you could lose it all. Keep aware of news and weather warnings, and act on them when a target date is narrowed on a likely event. Make hotel reservations in an area away from the storm. If the storm is heading up the coast, don't plan on a Florida destination. If it's coming from the Gulf, Georgia might not be the ideal either. Is Aiken, South Carolina far enough? Is it time to visit family in Tennessee or Ohio? Additionally, do you need an animal-friendly hotel? Are you responsible for someone who may need medical help? Consider a bigger city if a hospital or other care could be needed. Keep family informed of your actions. They see the news every day too, and they worry. And although it may sound trivial or minor, consider finding a destination with activities, available supplies, and areas to keep you and your animal friends active. You could be away for 1 to 2 weeks. Take your fitness clothes and equipment, shoes, bands, easily portable supplies for workout, and also cards, games, and maybe a couple of bottles of wine. And before you go, talk to a neighbor or friend who plans on staying in their home no matter what. They'll actually be your best source of up-to-date information for when to return and how the neighborhood fared through the storm. Just saying. Still more news to come on Sun City News. Entertainment reporter Randy Selman heads to Hilton Head Island to discuss the theater. Sports reporter Ray Tapio is talking kayaking for fun and heat relief. We'll return after some messages from our sponsors. Well, it's time for entertainment. So Randy, I've been hearing about the Southeastern Summer Theater Institute on Hilton Head Island. Could you tell me a little bit more about it?
Well, Norma, you're in luck because I have the producer of the program, Ben Wolf, with me today in the studio. He's going to talk about the Institute and their upcoming production, Bright Star the Musical. Hi, Ben. It's so nice that you could join us today and talk about your theater group and Bright Star.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be here to tell you a little bit more about Southeastern Summer Theater and this cool new musical.
Oh, before we talk about the musical Bright Star, tell us about the Summer Institute Theater and the history behind it and why Hilton Head.
Sure. So Southeastern Summer Theater is in its 12th summer. It is an international boarding program for talented musical theater and technical theater high school students. They literally come from all over the globe, as far as Singapore and as close as Bluffton. So they come from auditions or interviews online. We bring them into Hilton Head and they produce a professional musical. If you've never seen one of our shows, it defies anything that you ever think of about a youth or community style performance. These young performers will truly blow you away.
Well, I have seen some of your shows and I was blown away. How does the audition process work?
So our auditions and applications start every year in October. So October 1st they go online and they go through a series of auditions to get into the program, and then beyond that they do their video callbacks online. So when they arrive, they've signed a contract, they arrive, they know all of their lines, and they go into 12 hours of rehearsal a day for 3 weeks, and they open a giant show for the community and also get to focus on their college auditions, which are a big thing in their mind.
That's great. Tell me now a little bit about Bright Star. Give us a little synopsis, and why did you choose that musical over all others?
Right, so every year we do 2 shows here on Hilton Head, and we try to open our season with one that's a little more familiar, so we just did Cabaret. And then once our audiences have seen that, we try to bring them something new. So this is actually a premiere production of this in our region of Bright Star. It's a musical that was on Broadway. It maybe got a little overshadowed by a show called Hamilton, which also opened in the same season.
Really?
But yeah, it's a musical based on a true story. It's a folk musical. It's like Norman Rockwell meets Flannery O'Connor kind of style. It's a southern, like Gothic tale. It's written by the comedian Steve Martin. As you know, in addition to being a comedy icon, he also has a penchant for the banjo. He partnered with Paul Simon's wife, Edie Brickell, who's a Grammy-winning songwriter, and they created this wonderful musical based on this true story of a found baby thrown from a train, and that's kind of was the instigator for their deciding that they wanted to make a musical.
So a lot of bluegrass music.
Oh yeah, banjos,
dance.
fiddles, dance, absolutely everything you would expect from a folk musical like that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really a pleasure. I've seen many of your shows, and I really should tell the audience, go out and catch one of these shows. Go to see Bright Star. You'll love it. Bright Star the Musical will be performed at the Seahawk Cultural Center on the campus of Hilton Head High School for 2 weekends, beginning on Friday, July 26th through Sunday, August 4th. Shows for Friday and Saturday are at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2 o'clock p.m. Tickets are $25 for adults and $20 for students and can be purchased online at HiltonHeadIslandSummerMusicals.com or by calling 866-749-2228. You may also buy your tickets at the door. See you at the theater. I'm Randy Selman, and that's your entertainment report. Remember, life is entertaining, so don't miss the show.
Well, it's time for sports. And Ray Tapio, our man of many sports, well, he's in the water this week. You're trying to keep cool, huh, Ray?
I'm always cool, Norma. Kayakers and wannabes. Do you know that there are 30 public spots to plant a kayak in the water within 30 miles of Sun City? The Kayak Club of Sun City is a social and environmental club. The members own their own kayaks and canoes and offer paddle trips and can loan paddles for all levels with plenty of help from members to load and unload their craft. The club takes many trips away from Sun City and as far away as Silver Springs in Florida. So if this sounds interesting, you should check out the club on the Sun City website and join the next trip. The hot weather does not stop our avid golfers from pursuing that hole-in-one. Just a reminder to be sure to stay hydrated. Or just in case someone in your group should become overheated, be sure to call 911. The dispatcher can triangulate your position and notify EMS. Do not call the pro shop. Also, AEDs are available at all conference stations and pro shops in case of a cardiac situation. Be sure to dress cool and remember that proper golf attire is required. You might be moving slow, but you're lapping everyone on the couch. See you next week with more Sun City Sports. Ray Tapio.
Thanks for watching our show this week. We invite you to check out Sun City TV's weekly program schedule in Sensations magazine. And now check highlights and alerts on Twitter at SunCityTVHHI. Also, email us at suncitytvhh@gmail.com. To see extended coverage of your favorite news segments, tune in to Extra. Check the current Sensations magazine for daily times. And make sure you tune in next week to find out all the news that's happening in our community. In the meantime, I hope your week is full of only good news. For Sun City News, I'm Norma Taylor, and I'll see you next week.